Right now, some context, the water on the Farmington River, it is flowing at about 10 times what it normally would because of all of the rain that we're seeing. As this breaking news continues to unfold, the search underway right now for 2 missing teenagers in the water.
Yeah, those teens, 15 and 17 years old. We're getting you back out to Fox 61's Lauren Zenzi with the latest on what we're learning. Lauren.
Keith and Erica, New Milford Police, we are just seeing for one of the first times the New Milford Police, they have just brought up the chopper. They are continuing their search and rescue efforts here. It has been an extremely long night for Connecticut State Police, local police, and DEP. We are joined by Captain Keith Williams. Keith, this has been a very tiring investigation, but you're not stopping anytime soon.
No, we're not. We're continuing throughout the day and probably most of the evening. We've deployed numerous assets here on the Farmington River today, including the State Police Dive Team, Burlington Fire, Avon Fire Department is out here. We both have our K-9 unit, State Police K-9 unit are on scene trying to search, along with Farmington PD has a drone up in the air right now. And again, New Milford's got their helicopter up in the air. So we're trying to deploy as much assets as we can to the scene to hopefully find these 2 individuals.
Now, let's go over the details for anyone that may have missed your press conference just a little while ago. Last night, these 2 children, age 15 and 17, were supposed to come home at about 5 o'clock. Mom reached out to them, family reached out to them to no avail, and that's when they called police at 9.
That's correct. So Avon Police Department got notified just after 9 o'clock. Avon PD came down to do a cursory search and actually found the vehicle here, which led them down to the bank of the river where some belongings were found from both individuals, including some sneakers, clothing, and cell phones. This is a popular spot for individuals that come and go swimming, especially on hot days, and everything's indicating that they possibly went for a swim last night and obviously unaccounted for at this time. So one of the residents at the end of the road actually saw them and spoke to them before they went down there, advised them that the waters were dangerous because of the conditions, and they went down. So we'll be here throughout the afternoon and most of the night.
And I want to get more into just how dangerous the water is right now, because people really shouldn't be traveling down embankments like this to get to the water because of the current, and all of the rain that we've had have really made it treacherous.
Correct. I mean, we're not at flood stage yet for the Farmington River, but it's close. The river is unusually high for this time of year because, like you said, of all the rain that we've had. So conditions as far as going into the water, if you're not capable of swimming, not a good swimmer, not wearing a PFD, it's very treacherous, a very dangerous area, especially right here with the dams in the area. And the currents are unpredictable with that much water flowing through it. What may not look like, a dangerous situation could be extremely dangerous when you get in the water.
Now, you were unfortunately one of the people that had to notify the families. I can only imagine how devastated they are, but what has their reaction been like because of the extensive search and rescue?
Obviously, it's very emotional. It's very sad to know that your son didn't come home that night. So it's very difficult for us to have to make notification to say, hey, last night we're suspending the search because of really the environmental conditions. We can't risk, safety personnel, police, fire, rescue personnel that risk their lives every day. I just can't risk it any further than what we had to go through last night. The conditions are very dangerous. Even to put a boat in the water in these conditions is very dangerous. So we have to take that into account. So the decision was made very late last night to call the search for the evening, and obviously we resumed it this morning at 8 o'clock. And we'll go as long as we can today with the resources that we have, and we'll continue to deploy resources until we find them.
And how important is it that you do bring in all of these external resources? New Milford has their chopper, Farmington has their drone, you have Connecticut State Police dogs on scene. It really is a full team effort from a whole statewide level.
Correct. So that's the beauty of law enforcement. We all work together. We're all on the same team. We're all trying to do the same goal, and that's to bring closure to the families. Mm-hmm. So, as much as we can get help from any other agency, we're going to take it and use it and try to get closure as quickly as possible.
And lastly, with these extremely hot days, it is very enticing to try and come out to a place like the Farmington River, but I want you to reiterate to families just how dangerous it is.
It's very dangerous. Like I said, the water level is a lot higher than it would normally be. I notified the Army Corps of Engineers this morning to see if they can shut down the Colebrook Dam, at least partially. They were willing to do that at about 50%. The reason that they can't extend it any further is because there's still a lot of rainwater coming through from up north, Massachusetts, what have you. So if they let that water build up any further, obviously next week they're going to have a huge release, and that could be catastrophic for communities downriver. So unfortunately, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature right now, and hopefully within 6 hours we'll see a little decrease in the water level based on their closure. But that's about as much as we can do as far as controlling the water flow at this time. So.
Absolutely. Well, all hands are on deck here in the Avon area. Captain, I thank you so much for your time. I know that you guys have a lot of work ahead of you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. It is just an unfortunate event to be reporting on all morning, but all hands are on deck here to recover these two teenagers, age 15 and 17, both from the town of Plainville, and we're just hoping for the best. But crews are here just making sure that whether it is a search and rescue or a recovery mission, that they do get these kids and their families some closure. We're live in Avon this morning. I'm Lauren Zenzi, Fox 61 News. Back to you.
Lauren, quick question for you while you have Lieutenant Williams there. Can you ask him, we're looking at drone video while we were listening to your interview. We're looking at some drone video of a search boat. Does he have any idea how deep the water is in that area where that boat is searching?
So unfortunately, Erica, I just lost you on my earpiece, but I do have that answer for you. When we're talking about the depths of the water right here, how deep can the water be, especially with all of the rain that we've had?
So in this specific area, we're looking anywhere from 10 to 15 feet, possibly at its deepest. I don't know it exactly, but I know from experience it's around 10 to 15 deep, and 10 to 15 feet deep in that area. So. And
you were mentioning if you do end up getting any water in your lungs and you do inhale the water, unfortunately you referred to it as a tumble dryer. It is just extremely dangerous.
Well, the conditions there, so you have a small dam by an old abandoned pump house right there. So the water's flowing over, and when that does that, it creates a lot of turbulence, almost like a tumble dryer effect. So things can get hung up there over time.
Captain, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. We're live in Avon this morning. Lauren Zenzi, Fox 61 News.